Tell them in French.
And in French?
Yes.
Oh,
go
okay,
ahead.
thank you. Merci beaucoup.
See how we relaxed.
Yes.
Yeah. En fait, c'est vraiment très important. C'est un point très important pour moi puisque je suis le premier Congolais à participer dans les programmes Afrika Kommt et
I give it a shot. First shot. Failure.
So you see the application is now open for the African Comp and you're wondering if you should apply, whether you should apply, or you've seen the application, all of things required and you're a bit confused, or you've done it, you're not sure, all of those things. Well, in this video, I have some fellows with me who had applied, and they will just be sharing their experience from all the way from seeing the notification that the application is open, how they saw the application, and the application process and after the application process. So that's what we'll be talking about in this video. My name is Chamaka Okebu, and with me here I have my other fellows, other African Compt fellows, the AK-13. So we'll be introducing ourselves.
Hi, Sylvanus Obu. I'm from Nigeria. I'll be joining Merck as a data and AI ethics expert.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Celeste. You can call me Cel. I'm from
Oh, we
Ghana.
can. I've never heard that.
Me too.
That's a you problem.
Have you heard that before?
That's a
You
you
can call me
problem.
Cel.
You can call me Cel. Lots of people call me
Okay.
Cel.
Oh, really? Okay, Cel.
I'm from Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
and I am joining Beringa Ingelheim as a project manager.
Justin.
Yeah, I'm Justin Hindo from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I'm joining B Brown in Melzungen as a business development manager.
So let's begin. How did you hear about the program and what were your first thoughts? Like for me, I saw it on LinkedIn. Somebody had liked a post, someone else's post, and then I saw it and I wasn't sure what it was. I didn't know. So I sent it to, to people who lived in Germany to like confirm it's even true so that they don't scam me. And then someone's like, oh, I know about this program. Yeah. So that's my story. What's yours?
Okay. So networks are important, guys. So I came across it on a WhatsApp group that I was in of people that I don't even know in person, guys. But like we shared opportunities, and I like to see opportunities and share. I don't gatekeep information. And similarly, I didn't immediately read in detail. Like I opened the link and then I quickly skimmed through. I hadn't checked out the company profiles yet. So at first, I thought it was IT focused. So I was directing it to people that were in IT that I thought would be interested in the opportunity. So it was later on, one of my friends who is in IT said, oh, he wanted to apply for a particular profile and asked if I could help him. I was like, sure. And then I went back to actually read. And then I saw profiles that I was like, oh, there's more. There's actually more here. One of which, two of which were actually linked to my interests professionally. So I did meet up with him to help him with his particular application for the IT specialist role. But then, and I think the advantage of doing that was that by helping him with his application, now it allowed me to frame better what I would put in mine. So, so that's how I came across it. Information that was shared on WhatsApp that I was eager to just pass on. And then, so networks are important, and also read, guys, read anything that
Don't scroll.
Yeah.
So for me, I think a friend of mine, a lawyer, sent it to me because she felt it was an IT-based kind of role. She was like, hey, Sylvanus, I saw this thing. It's data related. Do you want to check it out? I'm like, okay, let me see. So I give it a shot. First shot. Failure. And then since I had become very conversant with the whole application process, I was just getting ready for the second cohort. That's the next cohort, which is this particular cohort to just come out. And when I said, it was like, yeah, this is just it. I gave it a shot, and it's now history. Thank you.
Thank you. For me, it wasn't on LinkedIn or Twitter or another social media. It was just WhatsApp. So I was in WhatsApp group of Congolese pharmacists, and then the president sent the link in the WhatsApp group, asking people to apply. It's a very good opportunity. That's how I heard about the opportunity, the Africa Kommt program.
Interesting. Okay, so coming to the profiles, so there are a lot of profiles, and I feel like sometimes it could be a lot, and you could feel one could feel intimidated, and also the general requirements even for the program itself. So Justin, you come from a non-English speaking country, like your core everyday communication is not majorly in English, right? So what's the extra thing you did? Like when you saw it, did you already know how to speak English? Or did you have to learn for the purpose? And even at that, what extra thing did you do to ensure that your own application stands out?
That's a very good question. Okay, for me, I wasn't in my country. I was in Kenya, and after my studies, I moved to Kenya. It's because I wanted to experience something new, learn, improve my English because I was studying English on YouTube. But I said, oh, it's not enough. Let me move. Even for 1 or 2 years in Kenya will be good. Unfortunately, I just did like 6 months in Kenya. And then when I saw the opportunity, 2 months, it was in I don't know, February or March, I don't remember. And I was in Kenya since January of 2024. And then I applied. But what I did extra, I started taking my English lessons seriously, like 3 or 4 times a day, just to be able to answer 1 or 2 questions during the interview in case I'm selected. It's what I did. Yeah, that's what I did extra. And also confidence, I would tell
Yeah,
myself, okay, I can do this, let me do this. Yeah, that's what I did.
that's interesting. So, Philip, you know how, like for me, my profile had artificial intelligence, global product management, SAP, and Sana, for clouds, this, that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl trying to build her career. What do people mean? What is this? Right? Did you feel that way when you saw some profiles and you were like, you already told yourself that maybe I might not be like my level has not gotten to this. Maybe I should give myself time. Did you feel like that?
Absolutely. So when you open the profiles, I think it was in alphabetical order by company and yeah, and Beringer is so before Beringer you now do B which one? There were quite a number. Sha. So and at the beginning it was a lot of IT. Then I saw some pharmacy profiles and things. So then I could have easily just closed the page without even continuing further. Easily, because I was like, what is going on here? And then when I got to the two profiles that I was interested in with Beringer, the profiles themselves, I thought I was decently suited for because they were more social work, which has been my professional expertise. What intimidated me was the fact that it was with a pharmaceutical company. I have never worked with a pharmaceutical company before, so I didn't know if I was the right fit. I thought maybe a pharmacist who has an interest in, some social impact.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wasn't quite sure, even though in the profile there were some descriptions that I saw that were like, okay, yeah, this is definitely me. This is definitely me. So I did take some time to convince myself. That said, I think if you listen to, and I was really in awe of what Justin said, because Justin's entire journey really is intentionality. He was very intentional about learning English. He was intentional about immersion. It was intentional about even before getting to the interview. If I do get to that point, I want to be able to be fluent enough that he had started taking those steps. So I think when you see a profile that you are not 100% sure, but like I think from the profile descriptions, you know that there are things you fit,
Yeah.
right? You shouldn't automatically just disqualify yourself. For the parts that you may not feel 100% certain that you are well suited for, how can you be intentional about meeting those criteria by the time the opportunity avails itself, right? We all know this thing about lack plus preparation, right? So if the preparation part is missing, then the opportunity is not going to manifest in the way that it wants to. So if you know that this is an opportunity, I've had the luck of discovering it, but I still need to do additional preparation, then I feel like you can be very intentional about upscaling yourself to the point that where you actually feel like, yes, this I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. Yeah.
Okay. So there are 3 or 4 parts to the application I would like us to touch on. There's a change initiative. There's the slides that has to do with, well, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? Where do you see yourself in this? Why did you apply, and all of those? So we'll just talk about those things. First, for the change initiative, how did you pick your change initiative topic?
So for me, um, the fact that I'd applied the first time, at every point I kept asking the question, what was wrong with my previous application? So I was trying to ensure I refined my application this time to match everything I needed to do. Think at the first time I had written a change initiative around what I personally do, which is more like educating, building edutech around Africa and Nigeria, which I personally did. But in the long run, I saw that the profile I was applying to required more of data related to health. And I had also had an experience working with the health sector in Nigeria, like the Kaduna State health Ministry of Health. So I had to find a way to see how data matched the health survey, how data privacy could actually help the health survey. So I refined that part of my essay to match what I felt fit into the profile I was applying for. So it's not just about you having something you do. If what you do does not match the profile you're actually applying for, find a way to see from your total experience what you have done in one way or the other. If you feel that is your actual fit, the profile you're applying for, then there must be something you have done that relates to that profile. So find something that both relates to the profile, matches your fit, and then it can beat um, thousands other application, because for true, a lot of persons are applying for this profile, so you must stand out. If you don't stand out, if your essay is not standing out, then I don't think you can really go far. So for me, I had to refine my essay to ensure it matches my profile and what I do, not just what I do. It's a both sides. Yeah.
So Celeste, did you have to maybe match your change initiative to like make it sync with African Compt? Like, did you have to look at African Compt's team, the team of the program, and try to like match whatever you're writing to that? Or did you just pick like, okay, something you're passionate about? That's my like.
So I picked an initiative that I thought was a pressing challenge, and that had indirect links. It wasn't strongly correlated to the profile, but had some indirect links to the pharmaceutical industry, more to healthcare, more broadly. And I spoke about that. So I think, and personally, I don't know whether it's a guarantee it needs to be linked to your profile in a very tangible way or not. But I do think that in explaining your change initiative, you need to be clear. You need to be direct about what the challenges are, what the opportunities are, and how what you see the prospects being, how your change initiative is going to can add value in some way. I think that part of clarity, I think a lot of people have really good ideas, but somehow aren't able to clearly express. And mind you, it's a very small team of expert reviewers reviewing thousands and thousands. In our cohort, it was 9,000 people who applied, right?
9,800.
9,800, that's almost 10,000 people. So they don't have time to now for a full blown narration of and this and this and this and this and this. Go straight to the point of painting a very simple picture of what the challenge is, why it is a critical thing that needs a solution, and how you are contributing to either a part. You don't even need to be overly ambitious in what you're trying to solve. You are fixing the entire thing or the entire sector. One aspect you have identified as an area for improvement, and that's what you want to add value to. So I think that's probably my advice. Yeah.
So for the presentation that had you pick 2 profiles, and then you decide, you write why you fit or why you should be picked for either of the profiles. Then you also to write why you applied for African Comms, why your 10-year goal. I think there's a slide like that. You had to prepare outside and then come upload it. Justin, my question would be, did you have to maybe use the company's logo? Did you have to use African Comms logo on that slide? And when was it challenging for you in any way? Like for me, it was challenging trying to write the 2, why I'm applying for the 2, because I'm like, they're very similar. And I didn't want to write the same thing. Right. So did you like face any challenge with that particular section?
I think I applied for the business development manager, and what they were looking for matched what I was doing. I've been doing in Congo and in Kenya, and what I wanted for myself for my career. So for me, I didn't really take time to think about that, because for me it was like I had things to say, because it was what I wanted to do. It's what like Silvano said, just to see if what you are doing match with your initiative idea, and then if it matches, you will find something to say. You will be it can make your application better. I think so.
Yeah.
So it's what I did, and it worked.
it really worked. Okay.
So for the part of the slides, most times people always confuse it as you use like the PowerPoint presentation or like Microsoft Word or PDF. I think it's flexible.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's flexible. I never applied using any PowerPoint presentation.
What did you use?
I used PowerPoint.
to prepare it, but I converted it into PDF.
Yeah.
So that the documents could not be altered.
So my applications was like completely with Microsoft Word. I didn't do any.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
I didn't do any extra work. Everything there was just written. I just wrote them down completely, like the way you type on Microsoft Word, and then converted it to PDF and uploaded it.
Okay.
So it's very flexible, and you can just
that's interesting. I used PowerPoint.
Me too, I used PowerPoint.
In fact, I used the company's logo.
She really wanted to make an
For the application or change initiative idea?
Yeah, for the application.
Okay, even me from the change initiative idea, I used the Afrika Kommt logo and the B Brown logo.
I used African Comms logo on one side, SAP logo on the other side. Then my entire slide, because SAP's color, I went online to look for SAP's color, which is a shade of blue. So I picked like 2 blue from that and used it across my desk. So my slide had like a theme speaking SAP.
Are you sure that extra didn't add a lot to your application? Please follow Tianaka, don't follow me.
I really do not know, but I was so eager. I was like, anything extra.
Okay.
So I put a photo of myself in the
Me too.
As well.
And then my name. That was it.
I put SAP logo, put myself on one side, write my name and the title of my Kini.
Nice.
Then at the end again, I split the page into 2. One half of the page is just when people are presenting, so put my full picture, corporate, my suit and everything.
Okay, what I did too,
Thank you.
I also had the flag of my country.
During the application.
Yeah, the flag of my country. And
I see why.
Yeah.
Now I see.
Oh my god. Let me tell you, we're being intentional, man.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Like, wow. If you have to choose between myself and another person, you just like, let's be casual.
But also, it sounds to me that you guys made your slides very memorable. Like, they'll definitely remember. Do you remember the one that had the Congolese?
Yeah.
You remember the one with the
Actually.
Yeah. Very memorable.
And I said thank you like in 5 languages.
application.
So
application.
Guys.
There was
Guys,
no way we were not
guys,
going to
it
pick
is
that.
not this stuff. It is not this stuff
Believe
at
me,
all.
it's not at all. It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
that when
yeah.
it is your turn,
Yeah.
you don't want to hear that. Okay, we had to pick between you and someone,
Yeah,
and then we just had to pick this. You will pick me because I used your. Do you know what we used to go and look for your company's logo? But then you could also go wrong. Because imagine if you use the wrong logo.
True.
Like MTN changed their
Change their
logo
logo
one
this
time. Imagine
past year.
you now use the previous
old
logo.
logo.
Ah,
Even Merck they applied to do the same. Yes, they used to
you're
have
not gonna
this
use
logo.
That's why
Oh,
I
they have
actually
two?
didn't put
Yeah.
even the profiles I was applying to in the presentation because we were applying to two.
Yeah.
And it could have gone anyway.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. So I just put my name and my picture there.
Yeah.
Whoever reviews it.
Really,
whatever
whoever
happens,
reviews
happens,
it. Interesting. So we want to talk about the 10-year goal plan. How did you structure yours? Can you remember?
It was two paragraphs, two very short paragraphs of like maybe 3 sentences each. It was very short, this and this. And the first was basically stating what in 10 years' time I want to have achieved. And the second was this is why I think Afrika Kommt is important. Or it will add to that.
Yeah.
Simple. So I think six sentences total, structured as two
No
paragraphs.
kidding.
And that was
Justin?
Okay, for me, my change initiative was about how to make medicines available and accessible in my country, especially in rural areas. And then when they asked about my 10 years goals, I was like, okay, it was the same with my change initiative idea. And I gave two answers. The first one, working for a global company like B Brown, that will allow me to reach my goal as a patriotic, I like my country and I'd like to make some positive impacts.
Justin, everybody likes that.
yeah, okay. I'm talking about my country. And
No, I see Justin a lot.
yeah.
Go
The second was about if not working for a global company, maybe have my own company. And it was the same like what B Brown is doing in the world, the company I applied for. That was my secret.
Interesting.
I didn't change it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your 10-year goal.
Since I'm applying to a very novel field, AI, it's something that the world is changing towards. I was able to see how I could link it to the impact the ethics around AI would do to both Africa and the world at large. So my 10 years goals was just to address more like the reasons and the need why the profile I'm applying to is important and what I would use the knowledge I would have gained from the fellowship for my personal growth to impact the health sector in Nigeria and Africa at large. So that was how I structured my 10-year goal. So it was more like I found a problem around data ethics. Then I was able to list out what I feel those my learning, what the program and joining Merck would do, and in the long run, how that will impact my society. And then I also give like statistics around what I intend that to achieve in the long run. That was how I structured my 10 days goal plan.
My one gave statistics.
Nice. My 10-year goal plan. I divided it 5 years, 5 years.
Okay.
And then was it for every year? No, I had, hey God, I now feel like I did so much.
You are here, so
So I had like academic, like it was so clear I want to grow into a more senior role, take a career break, further my education, maybe do another master's, then come back to a C-suite position, then take a career break, go for was it I've already I think then do a PhD. Yeah, I think then come back. I think that was also I had like
very specific.
it was very specific. It was one of the slides that I really had issues preparing because
it made me want to even sit down and think, because I don't do 10 years. Even 5 years, I feel like it's a lot because I know how my life has changed in the moment. So I
Yeah.
prefer to do like 1 year, 2 years concrete. Then the remaining years, I'm like, okay, I would like to, but not boom, because bruh, your life can change in any. Yeah.
Yeah. Auf jeden Fall.
Oh my god. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, so let's go to personal history and experience. Right. How did you decide what aspect of your background, of your experience to highlight? You know, like when you read the profile and you think about yourself, you realize that maybe something you're linking to your personal self, that's what you just want to be talking about everywhere. So how did you decide which particular one, or is that even what you did in the first place?
Mm, the application asked that first question, why African Compt? And you have to always look through first the African Compt website to understand the requirement of the program.
Hmm.
Because if you don't understand the requirement of the program, you're going to write what I don't know. So first I went to the website and I saw that the program was about cultural integration, language, strengthening African leadership, and also we African leaders impacting the companies here in Germany. So my applications were structured just around those four themes. So my application were around language, integration, leadership and mentorship, and also what I would gain from the company. So I didn't really do so much about my talk so much about my personal life in the application. It was just about what I was going to gain and how that would help me impact Africa. So that was just where my application was centered around.
Okay, so Justin, if you were to advise people from non in a non-English speaking country that want to apply, what are the tools and the resources that you think helped you during your application process? And if you were to do this all over again, what's that thing you think that it should be part of their process
Ah,
just to make it easier for them since
maybe I can do it in French.
okay, yeah, so this you can, but you will explain you.
Okay, okay.
Okay, but
What
go
I'll
on.
just explain in French it is don't let the language to be a barrier for you, especially when you are ambitious and young. You are open to learn and take risks. It's very important. I took a risk and I'm here now and I'm improving every day. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be here. So it's what I can I can tell them to
Tell
take a
them in
risk
French.
and in French.
Yes, go
Oh, okay,
ahead.
thank you. Merci beaucoup.
See how relaxed.
Yes.
Yeah. Euh, En fait, c'est vraiment très important. C'est un point très important pour moi puisque je suis le premier Congolais à participer dans les programmes Afrika Kommt et c'est un privilège. D'ailleurs, quand j'en parle aux gens, les gens sont trop contents et fiers. Il n'y a pas beaucoup de représentativité des pays francophones à Afrika Kommt. Il y en a eu, une personne, des personnes, mais comparé aux gens qui viennent des pays anglophones, les pays francophones représentent peut-être 5 ou 10%. Alors, nous avons du potentiel, nous avons du courage, nous avons des impacts dans nos pays respectifs. Donc, nous ne pouvons pas laisser la peur nous guider. Apprenons, soyons ouverts, soyons disponibles et ouverts à apprendre, à prendre des risques, à apprendre une nouvelle langue, à exploiter de nouvelles. C'est très important pour, si vous voulez vraiment agrandir votre carrière professionnelle, aller plus loin comme moi. Je suis loin, bien sûr. Je suis encore plus jeune. Il ne faut pas aussi laisser la peur vous guider. Prenez les risques et no risk, no story. Rendez-vous au sommet. Et courage.
Oh, we should clap.
Yeah.
Okay, thanking you so much.
Merci beaucoup.
Je vous en prie, mon frère.
What's the one thing you think one could underestimate about the whole application process? someone could just overlook, but you think it is important or critical?
So let me add very importantly that why are you applying for the program? Do you want to come to Germany? Do you want to live for Europe? Or you are very particular about a profile? Because there are so many profiles that have less applicants. You would even see that during the application, if you are very careful to go through your email, African Compt usually send an email saying these profiles have less applicants and they want more people to apply to those
Yeah,
profiles.
sure, yeah.
I would advise you don't really submit your application so early. Submit if you are so sure, because there are profiles that have less applicants. For 2 years ago, there are about 7 of such profile. It means you have higher chances of getting into profile that have less applicants. So you should be able to discern to know what profile you're applying for. There are surely profiles that you should be aware people are going to apply for. Once you see data, once you see data, there are 1,001 data analysts.
Artificial intelligence.
Everybody is a data
wants to
analyst.
kill themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
but if you are careful enough, you would see a role that is not necessarily stating data in it, but is data related. The
Yeah.
role I applied for, when I checked for it was for data and AI ethics for digital health. There were other roles that were more like digital health expert for something. So they were not necessarily stating data analyst, data scientist, and then you would most likely want to apply to the one stating data analyst, data scientist, and every other thing. But so I'll just encourage people to be careful to wait to see and check for profiles that are less. You can actually go to the website, you will see those profiles. It's always stated profiles that have less applicants, or probably you're reaching out to people, because yeah, one of the things that most applicants do is to reach out to past fellows.
Yeah.
Try to inquire what profiles do you think usually have less applicants. It gives you a better chance of getting into the program. You have a fighting chance than applying to profile where there are 1,000 applicants and they need only 2 persons for that profile. So please check through that criteria and see how far.
I agree 100% about profiles and how much they matter. And I think we may underestimate, we just read it as this is the opportunity of the job description. But there's a reason why the company selected those particular profiles. It represents a certain skills gap,
Yeah.
or if not a skills gap, it may be an area in which the company itself wants to grow and they want somebody to add value to that.
Yeah.
So please read the profiles very, very, very carefully and make sure you're tailoring your application towards the mindset of I am adding value to this need that you have,
Yeah.
right? Sell yourself in that way. I am the person you are looking for because you said you need this, you want to do this as a company or blah blah, and I am the person you are looking for. These are the things that I have done before that link to it, or even if it's not something I have a lot of experience in, but I am familiar with. I am making these steps to grow or gain more expertise in this, and so I'll be able to add value to your company in this role in this way. So profiles are very, very, very important when you are preparing your the PowerPoint slide. Let it be informed by the profile. So don't just say anything about your background that is you are saying talking for talking's sake. Directly link it to the profile. Silvano said earlier that when he saw the emphasis on leadership, on service, and things like that, he tailored his application around that. You always want to make people feel like you are listening to them or you are meeting their needs. So definitely, in when you read the profiles, what I did, I underlined things that I thought were keywords because they told me a lot about the company, right? So it was a pharmaceutical company, but why is a pharmaceutical company taking an interest in social impact? Why are they interested in gender equality, social inclusion, stuff like that, right? So I underlined those things and then I reflected on, in my own experience, what things professional and extracurricular. Sometimes you volunteer.
Yeah.
You do certain things that are not work related, but you have a passion for. And I tied them to that. So I have done this. I've worked in communities doing this, and this is how I can add that value. So please do not underestimate the profiles. They are there for a reason. There's a reason why there's a whole description of what they are, who they are looking for, instead of just saying UX, UI designer, SAP, and they left it blank like that, because they are looking for somebody specific, and you have to make sure that you are telling them that, yes, I am specifically the person you are looking for, because I understand exactly what you need, even though you are not 100% sure that you do. But you are telling them, you are selling yourself that way. Remember, again, you are always the product. You are ultimately the final product.
Ultimately.
Yeah. So more so, no company in African Kommt is small. So no
that's
company in
very
African
important.
Kommt is small. Don't be. I'm not trying to
Even if
say.
you've not heard of them.
Yeah, even if not, you will be so shocked when you get to Germany.
You've
to
not
see.
just heard of them in your country.
Yeah. So basically, SAP and Boehringer Ingelheim has like the highest number of positions available in the profile. But you see those other small companies that have just
small.
Supposedly
small.
Don't say small companies. The companies with fewer
profiles.
Doesn't mean the company is
Those
small.
profiles, people usually overlook them. And those are the profiles where I think very, very important. You can easily get in. My first application was Boehringer Ingelheim. They were close to that. In 2023, there are about 25 profiles open for Boehringer Ingelheim.
Oh,
Yes, and my two choices were from Boehringer Ingelheim, and I didn't get it. After I saw that BI was not it, I was like, 9, never applied to BI. So I was not gonna apply to BI.
Yeah.
And I went for Merck. I didn't even know what Merck was, where they existed. It was during the application I just had to go check. I was like, okay, I see these guys. And when I got to Merck, okay, so guys,
That's very important.
That's very
it's very
important.
important. Okay, so just what you said just brought something that to my memory that I now remember. So I think they released a particular profile list. Yeah, because when I saw it, when I went back, I'm like, I did not see this profile. So yes, because I was about saying that no, if you can apply early and just worry about it. But then I remember that a particular profile I applied really late because I saw it late.
Me too.
But then a profile came like just few days before it was about closing. I can't remember the exact profile, but I know when by the time I checked again, I'm like,
I haven't seen
I did not see it. Like I really went through this. I did not see the.
go through all the profiles.
Yes, because I also wanted some of my friends to apply. But if you're in IT space, it's easier to see your profile back. But once you're not in IT, once you're in sales, finance, others, marketing, it then becomes difficult. Then you now have to calm down
and take your time
and go through. But if you're doing UX, UI, UX, product
It's
management,
the first thing you see. It's honestly the first thing you see.
Data, you would
That's
see
why the
those
first
ones.
time I was just like, oh no, I think this is an IT thing. It's the first thing you
Project
see.
management, those ones were like the easiest. You see them everywhere. So I just had to pick like what company. I was having this imposter syndrome. I was like, should I go to SAP? Like, bruh, Abi, I should. Olga, apply first. Just apply first and let that even be separate. So yeah, that's just what I want to say. That certain profiles come out really late. But if you're very sure about the profile you've picked, like you've locked it up that this is it, and you're sure you've cleaned up your application, I would say when you edit your application, do not submit like immediately. Give yourself time. It's like breathe in, breathe out. Go back, read it, and see if you can edit anything. Use numbers as well to back up like data, because you can't just be speaking like sprinkle. Like you have to back it up with a little bit of data. So we've talked about a lot of things, and I think we've covered from beginning to somewhere around the end. My final question: how did you feel? Justin, we'll start with you. How did you feel when you received that letter that says you have now been invited to the assessment center?
Oh. First, I didn't know what was assessment center. And then I went on YouTube. I said, what is assessment center? It was my first experience. Assessment center.
You can speak in at some point if you want to.
In French.
Infuse French. Infuse.
Yeah.
Not speak in French. That will not.
Assessment center in French
zoning
means
out.
like centre d'évaluation. Donc, c'est un programme, c'est une initiative. Donc, on recrute plusieurs personnes en un seul jour. On vous regroupe à des groupes. Donc, il y a eu plusieurs applications, plusieurs candidatures qui ont été faites. On sélectionne alors. Et pour Afrika Kommt, I think it is 10 people for profile. Yeah. On prend 10 personnes par profil.
I don't know how
Yeah,
many
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like.
yeah. It is that. So, if B Brown has like 4 candidates, okay, 4 profiles, they will select, Africa Count will select 40 for them, you see. So, pendant l'assessment, ça vous êtes nombreux. Alors, on sélectionne et on vous met dans des groupes. Alors, comme on m'avait dit, vous êtes invité au centre d'évaluation et ça va durer 4 jours, je crois. Il y a un jour pour ceci, pour ceci, pour ceci. J'étais effrayé. J'avais peur. C'est quoi? Et puis, ils m'ont dit des recommandations. Il faut avoir la caméra ouverte, une bonne connexion, tout. J'étais un peu effrayé. C'était la première fois. Et j'avais demandé, je peux faire ça en français? Ils avaient dit non, non, non. Le programme est en anglais et nous, on ne peut pas parler français. Yeah. And I remember the HR manager of B. Brown, Hannah. She told me, you can't do your interview in, okay, you can do it in French, but I can't speak French.
Yes.
No one here can speak French, but
And
you
even
could do
the
it in
other
French.
candidates, if they don't speak French,
Yeah,
then
so try
because-
to do it in English. Do your best. And yeah, I told her, yeah, I will do my best. And I did it.
So, in other words, they weren't really hard on your English being so correct, right? Just now.
Yeah, okay, my English was not good and it's not still good, but I'm still working on it. What
Are
I
you guys
did,
listening to this one?
Don't mind him. Each time he says this, I'm like,
what I did, I took time to respond questions and they gave me time. They were patient with me.
Okay.
Sometimes I tried to, okay, can you give me a second? And then I was like, not translate. I was like, okay, and tried to explain, okay, we get it. And it was very good. And I really liked the assessment center and the process. It was smooth, it was patient, everything was good.
But that
Perfectly.
wouldn't have been easy. Do you know why? I'm trying to imagine myself in this phase of German, right? And I'm going for an interview that says I should know how to speak German.
Yeah.
An actual interview.
Yeah.
Bruh! Begins. After that, I'm like, Ishko.
Because even interviews in English, you have your nerves. Yeah, nervous enough.
What am I supposed to say? I work as Ishabaite by what? After that, and because you cannot predict the questions they would ask, so you can't even cram your answers. Oh, Justin, it's a new level of respect for you because
Yeah, it wasn't easy, so, but yeah,
I'm translating. I'm putting myself in your shoes with my current German.
Yeah.
I would think
I'll
in
be
French and then
sweating.
translate.
But part of
If you ask me a question.
I think part of why the assessment center is important is also it gives them a sense of how you interact.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
you're going to work within a team.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And so for Justin, then they were able to it told them a story about the way Justin
Sure.
works within a team.
Yeah.
Right? Even if he's new, even if he may not have the full subject matter expertise, he one is willing to try or take the risks.
Yeah.
Two, he's willing to put himself out there. And then he's also able to communicate that, listen, English is not my first language, so be patient with me. He's asking for the help he needs, that sort of thing. And I think that tells so much about the person.
Yeah.
Right. So far, I've noticed that Germans are very big on if you don't know, ask.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like don't stay on your own and be struggling. Bruh, if you don't know, ask. And for you to
questions,
demonstrate that at the interview, that's
It's very
I was talking to
important.
somebody recently and they were saying, I think we were talking about German CVs or something. And you've heard that they said the German CV is like 1 page or something. And I'm like, your entire career, how do you squish it?
In one page.
And the person was like, Germans don't care about accomplishments and achievements like the way you be bragging. They just want to know, what do you do? You understand? And then how do you work with people? That's it. Germans really don't credentials like, oh, and I won World Economic Forum Young Leader.
And that's the aim of
It's not-
assessment
yeah.
center.
And that's the point that the assessment center is trying to get. They're trying to get to the core of you and how you work with people and how you can, within the team, the group exercise, are you guys able to quickly agree on roles and delegate responsibilities? Those are the things that are important to them. right? That's what they want to be able to say. And then quickly you agree on who's doing what, on what your final output should be,
Yeah.
those sort of things. That's all they're looking out for.
Mm.
So, and maybe that's a thing that we don't really emphasize where we come from, because back home, shall we like title, we like
I was able to, and then erase
single-handedly. And now I remember I was pivotal. That was what the Afrika Kommt person was saying, that he has never seen so many people use the word pivotal. Like,
Pivot,
I
yeah.
think if it wasn't for you, your company will collapse. Like, calm down.
Calm down.
Yeah, she saw the word pivotal too many times.
Are you
Too many
serious?
times, because it just was like people.
Yeah, because it's where we're coming from.
Yeah.
You gotta brag.
Yeah.
You
You have to brag.
You need to be able to, even if all you did was draw a line, you need to explain how the line you drew was able to separate the two kingdoms, and then the two kingdoms had peace, and from there they flourished.
You were pivotal.
It's very,
Yeah.
very
Your line
important.
was pivotal to world.
Okay, so my final question, and this will go to just just one word. How did you feel when you received the final mail? Like after application, you first of all, for you first saw the application, said it's for IT people, and then at the end of the day, you now received like, hello, come to Germany. For you who had applied like twice, this was your second application. How did you feel in that moment? I mean, the first time when you opened the email, no, maybe not later. Okay, yes, maybe later, but then you open it and it was reading "Come to Germany."
I was not really excited any longer.
What's happened?
Anyway, so I passed through a phase where I already knew everybody got their email. I didn't get my email
No, okay.
in good time. So I waited for like a week before I finally got, after everybody had gotten their email. So that I'd already seen everywhere flying uh, around, gotten their email, gotten their email, gotten their email. So this is what I want to actually add up to that. Um, create networks with your company. LinkedIn is a very big platform. You must learn to maximize that at the first part.
Mm.
When I applied, I immediately followed the my manager, because I got the first application call before the assessment center. So I followed my manager and all of that. So it was very helpful. I don't really know why I didn't get my email in good time, but learn to create good networks and follow up, even on the applications. What you want, go for it. Don't think you are overdoing it.
Mm.
Don't ever think you're overdoing it. If you are applying for a role, find the company, find the managers, find colleagues, talk to them, ask people, talk to fellows,
Alumni.
do everything you want to get what you want
Yeah.
that is available in your space. So I am just that one person that didn't really get that initial excitement when I got my
So
final
did you get it
email.
later?
I got it later.
How many days later?
After
One-
about 2 weeks.
Oh,
Really?
Yes. So then,
Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
long story for another
long
day.
story.
I think just really excited when I read it. But also, I think there's a part of me that's still surprised, because, like I said, I hadn't heard of the program before.
Yeah.
So sometimes I really sit there and I'm like, in January 2024, I did not know Africa Kommt existed. Like in January, when I was preparing for, I've entered a new year, did I think I would end the year in Germany? It's still astounding. Like when you think about it, like it blows my mind sometimes. But yeah, I was really excited. Yeah, absolutely. And I put in the work. Oh, guys, be proactive, even if things are not going. You remember when we did the assessment? I think the week of the assessment center was when there were protests in Kenya.
In Kenya.
We use internet and things.
Yeah.
Life happens. Sometimes things go. The day I had my assessment center, my internet went off. And we had that 15-minute window. There was a 15-minute window for presenting your
Change
change
initiative.
initiative.
15 or 5?
5 minutes.
5
No, it was
minutes.
15 minutes.
For me it was
For,
5.
for your
the total
presentation.
Oh, the
was
actual
5 minutes.
presentation was 5 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. So I I had practiced my presentation well enough that I knew I could definitely time myself regularly, that I could give it in 5 minutes. And then of all days, of all moments, that was when my power decided to go off. No internet, all sorts of things. Quickly, proactively communicated to the Africa Kommt team that I've had a technical challenge. This is going to happen. Um, and then quickly had to, time was ticking. I was trying different options to reconnect. Nothing was working out. I had forgotten even that I'd already sent a copy of the presentation in advance, so they already had a copy of the presentation. And then, like Justin was saying, I said, okay, from my phone, I will do I'll just connect, right? Mobile data tends to be more unstable, but I knew I was well prepared. I connected. I literally had 6 minutes left. I hopped in. I apologized. I said I've communicated to the team that I had technical challenges. My devices are off and everything, because we had already sent the presentations in advance. They're like, oh, we have a copy of your presentation, so we will project. You speak to it. Use my 5 minutes to speak. So be proactive.
Yeah.
Don't, especially when something goes wrong, don't necessarily immediately go into doom and gloom. All is instantly think of what can I do to resolve with the amount of time that is left, or what immediately try and find a solution. Because I was stressed.
Very
I
very
was
Like panic
yeah.
later.
But if you let them, but just let them know that something is
Keep
not
them
going
informed.
as it is,
Yeah.
then they can be patient, because they know that, rather than, because I think initially, if I hadn't immediately notified the team that this was the challenge, they would have just assumed I didn't show up. Right?
Yeah.
So be
true.
proactive. Be proactive. If something goes wrong, be proactive. Immediately take actions. And then panic afterwards. After I finish, yes, I definitely panic, like, oh my God.
So that's always
Yeah.
my go-to, like
Yeah.
panic afterwards.
After.
Because panic that moment would do you no
It does
good.
nothing. So be proactive in the moment, especially when things go wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Justin,
Yeah, present.
when you realize, when you saw the emails, how did you feel?
I was traveling.
Okay.
I was traveling, and then I saw the email. I was excited. I was smiling, but I couldn't say anything yet. Okay, the way thing I traveled to see my parents, just to inform them that I'm moving to Germany, but I was a bit scared about the program, the new country, new culture, new system. Me, I studied in a French system. Everything was new for me. Till here, I'm still learning. I was a bit scared, but my father told me, "Yeah, you can do it. You are strong, and that's a good opportunity." Okay, that's the reason why I applied. So I was excited and scared at the same time, but I made a decision, and then I moved to Kinshasa for visa application, and I came here, and I still have the same feeling. I'm still excited
Yeah.
and happy at the same time.
Interesting. Okay, so there you have it, guys. We've talked a lot around being your authentic self, even when you're doubting yourself. Just do it. Read your application, make your research if you have to, do whatever it would take you to get here, to even get to the assessment center. And as usual, we always say for you to even make it to the assessment center, then you've done something right. There's a reason. All you need to do is now go and defend whatever it is you've put on your application. That's all you're going to do at the assessment center. But for that application itself, it's really critical because nobody's seeing you, nobody's hearing you, like spoken words. They can only read your thoughts, which is everything you've placed down on your document. So be your authentic self, use data, and you can see that our own system of applications actually unique. Everybody did something different that they thought would make them stand out,
Yeah,
right? Some people will be well detailed, some people will be more, oh, let me give a summary, but we're here. So at the end of the day, it's really not the how. Yes, let it be neat, let it be clear, and all of that, but it doesn't mean there is a pattern to follow. The pattern itself, the structure itself, not really. But there are certain things, key things that should contain data, authenticity, You should know that you're coming here as an African, Swiss African leader, we usually
African
say
ambassador.
ambassador.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to project all of this, and you are competing with professionals. You're not competing with maybe students. You're not competing with any other group. Professionals, hungry people, like people who are hungry to really make impact, people who are hungry to leave their country as well. This international experience thing, it's like you're being offered this on a platter here. All right. So people who really want that experience. So you can imagine how much thought we go into everybody's application. But you can do it. And yeah, so that's it for this video. If you do have questions, please leave them in the comment section. Would be there to respond. Sylvanus is also there to respond, or I'll drag them to respond. Respond as well. Well, please, I would say I have other videos on my channel. Watch them first. Watch them first. Like if your questions have been answered from there, then it is fine. Then if there are new questions that we maybe did not address, then you can put them in the comment section. Beg in the name of God, please don't chat me up on Instagram. Let it be public, except it's very, very personal, but let it be public so that other people can learn and I don't have to respond to the same questions from different people, that kind of thing. That's it for this video. My name is Chiamaka Okebo. Thank you so much for coming onto my channel. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. You want to say something?
Dankeschön.
Bitte schön. Cheers. Bye, guys.